Good afternoon. I am Jamie. This is Big Oak's Little Farm. Welcome to my porch. Today I am here to convince you, or possibly a reluctant spouse, why you need a dairy cow. So we came home recently from the Homesteaders of America conference, and I have noticed on a lot of other farms' social media and YouTube pages, so many people deciding to get a dairy cow, or dairy animals in general, goats too. So for those of you who aren't quite there yet, or have a spouse that's not quite on board yet, I'm going to tell you all the reasons that you need a dairy cow. First, I'm going to address some reasons that you might be thinking you don't want a cow. My husband's number one reason in the beginning was that it ties us to the farm, because you have to milk a cow. So when we first got our cow Bessie, I milked her twice a day. I have since gone down to once a day. When you are milk sharing with a calf, which means that the calf gets mama for 12 hours, you separate for 12 hours, then you milk, and then the calf can have mama again. So you're sharing the milk. When you're doing that, you definitely only have to milk once a day. But it's very possible to wean them down to milking once a day, even when they do not have a calf on them. So that is what we do here at Big Oaks. So even with milking once a day, you still have to be here once a day to milk the cow. So what are some ways around that? Number one, train your kids how to milk the cow. We were able to go to the Homesteaders of America conference because our 12-year-old daughter knows how to milk the cow. One of her brothers, it's 9, also helped her with the milking. And we do have a milk machine, however, it was kind of on the fritz, so it wasn't working really well. We have a milk machine for emergency situations, mostly, but I just really enjoy hand milking. The other thing you can do is find a friend, a neighboring farm, perhaps someone else that is into this whole grow your own food movement, and train them to milk your cow. And if you need to go somewhere, they can come and milk your cow and keep that milk as payment. We actually did that for some friends before we had our cow. She belonged to some friends of ours who ended up moving cross country, and that's when we bought her. But before that, if they needed to be somewhere at milking time, I would go and milk the cow. So there are ways around that. Also, you always have roughly 60 days before they calf. Every time they have a calf, you dry them up. So, if you only have one cow and you want to dry them up to have a calf, then that's the time you go on vacation. Okay, another thing that I was actually surprised to hear, I had a friend ask me, aren't you afraid to drink raw milk? That surprised me, because I guess just being around, this whole farming movement and homesteading movement, I've always heard how great raw milk is. We actually, at one point, were buying, before we had our cow, we're buying raw milk from a local dairy farm, because I had a son who was having a lot of intestinal problems, and I was like, oh, well, raw milk is so much better for you, so we'll get that. But apparently some people are worried about drinking raw milk, so I'm going to address that. When you hear, the USDA requiring milk to be pasteurized, it's because in these big commercial dairy farms, where the cows are lined up and they're hooked up to milk machines, and the milk runs through tubing into a big tank. So how do you clean the tubes? The tubes are really hard to clean. They can flush them with chemicals. They, I'm sure flush them with hot water, different things. But it's difficult to clean these tubes that the milk goes through every day. Hard to get all of that out. So because of that, the USDA requires that milk be pasteurized. Pasteurizing milk kills all bacteria that could exist in that milk. So it's good on the hand that any bad bacteria that has grown in these tubes leading to the big milk tank, or maybe a cow not getting cleaned off very well, that bacteria is killed. However, the good bacteria is also killed. So a lot of people have trouble processing store-bought pasteurized milk or dairy products in general because the good bacteria that's good for your gut that helps you process that milk is not there because it's been killed in the pasteurizing process. So raw milk is indeed very good for you. In fact, I have some facts here. I have notes so that I don't accidentally skip anything. So raw milk has more probiotic bacteria, more amino acids, microbials, vitamins, minerals, fatty acids. Raw milk is actually considered a complete protein, meaning that it contains all 9 essential amino acids necessary for your body to function at optimal level. It is good for your muscles. You have a lower risk of age-related muscle loss as well as bone loss with osteoporosis. It has been shown to boost muscle repair in athletes. There are actually some studies that I read about that recommend drinking raw milk after a workout. And now several studies have also linked raw milk to a lower risk of obesity. So raw milk is by no means bad for you. It is actually fantastic for you. Okay, here's my last and most favorite thing to address. Is you get this dairy cow and it's producing all this milk. And even we have a family of 8, we have 6 children. We cannot drink all the milk that our one cow produces. So what do you do with all that milk? Well, let me tell you. So many things. So just for your family's consumption, I make at home, I have not even gotten into hard cheeses yet because we use so much of the milk already that hard cheeses require more equipment and more time. So I haven't gone down that path yet, but I make mozzarella. We have pizza and a movie night every Friday. So I make 2 pounds of mozzarella a week for that. Plus I make mozzarella to make string cheese. We make yogurt with it. I even bought these little tubes to make yogurt pops for the kids. And we can make ricotta, we can make cottage cheese, we can make sour cream, cream cheese, something called labna, that if you've never had before, it is delicious. It's kind of a dip. That's just what we do with the milk for our family. Now, say we still have extra milk because sometimes we still have extra milk even with all of that. We can feed the extra milk to the pigs. They love it. Clabbered some milk. It helps fatten up your pigs. So you'll notice that a lot of people, I would say the majority of people that have a dairy cow raise pigs because it's a great way to fatten up a pig. The chickens will eat it. You can use it for if you've got a bottle baby goat, if their mother has refused to feed them, or if you've bought a goat from someone. If you cannot get them raw goat milk, you can also give them raw cow milk. Pretty much any of our animals would drink it. The dogs go crazy if we put it on their food. They love it. So you can never have too much milk. Okay, so I hope I have convinced you that you need a dairy cow because you do. Everybody needs a dairy cow. Our dairy cow is a full-blooded Jersey. She's the sweetest thing in the world, and I actually would love to get a second dairy cow. Because of that 60 days that I talked about where you dry them up before they have a baby, I would love to have another one so that I can stagger it so that we never have to go without milk. Although the last time she had a baby, I had made and frozen enough mozzarella to get us through all of our pizza and a movie nights. so that we didn't have to go without it. We did, however, miss the yogurt. Yogurt does not freeze quite as well. It freezes in the little yogurt pop things, but only for a limited amount of time, not for a whole 2 months. I mean, they wouldn't last a whole 2 months in this house. 6 children. If you have any questions about dairy cows or our personal dairy cow or anything like that, feel free to drop a comment and I will answer them as best I can. I also do intend to make some videos about how to make all the different dairy products that I mentioned. I'll do some individual videos on that hopefully very soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you have a reluctant spouse, I hope that it convinced them to let you get your cow. Thanks for watching and happy homesteading.